What is going on, players? And welcome back to the Journeyman with me, Foggy Plays on FM22. Today is the end of season review for our first season in charge of Chinese League One side, but not for much longer. Yingji Biederman. I still have not figured out how to say the name of the club, but that's not the important thing. The thing is, we are in charge of a team that we've won the league with. So we're going into the top division next season. So if you do go on to enjoy this episode, do make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now run the intro and we're going to start the video. So as is always the way with the end of season review, we are going to be looking at the players that came in and we're going to find out some things about them, I guess. Nobody's coming up as our signing of the season. I think Chang Bon is a good shout for the signing of the season, even though he was on loan, so he's probably not going to get it. I think Wang Chao potentially can get it. Players' wages on the higher side, $475. We did pay a decent amount of money for him. So yeah, not 100% sure, but like to be fair, finishing the relegation playoff, we won the goddamn league. We are fantastic. We did have quite the run of form when we discovered that, like, we played the 4-2-3-1 in the opening day of the season, and I think we went to the 4-2-4 and realised that that was actually quite a good way to go. Average home attendance was just shy of half the stadium. To be fair, we don't have the biggest stadium in the league. There's quite a number of clubs in like this area that have massive stadiums. Wang Chao and we were our top league goal scorers with 12. Biggest win was 4-1 against Hanyu, who are after being relegated. Match to remember was a 2-0 win against Chang'an. Okay, fair enough. And the goal of the season was Tang Mao against Nantong from a 29-meter free kick. Interesting. Free kicks are good enough to win goal of the season. Our reputation has increased slightly, which is fantastic. Sponsorship has dropped a smidge. Broadcast revenue is up. Corporate and hospitality is up. Competition prize money doesn't exist. Maybe there's competition prize money in the league above because we didn't get any for where we finished. Matchday commercial and retail is up as well on last season, but we were not in a playable league last year, so I guess that makes sense. Our total merchandising sales, which is not there, we've just shy of 77,000, which I'm not going to complain about. And the top 5 shirt sellers were Zheng, Deng, Wei, Safe Side, and Zhao. That's okay. That's pretty good. Who the fuck is Andy Russell? So this is who's Mango Cruz? Magno. Oh, this is like our best 11 of all time or something. That's okay. The Chinese league clearly broken. So our fans player of the season was Su Shun. Young player of the season went to Wang Chao. Goal of the season went to Tang, as we saw. Top goal scorer was Wang Chao. And we both had 12. But I suppose only one can appear there. Yeah, you can see he's got the most overall goals by a player in a season, but he's not our top goal scorer. Most assists went to Zhao with 8, even though he was the one that technically should have been scoring, and Wang was the one who was supposed to be assisting. It's worked out the other way around. Most player of the matches went to Wang. Highest average rating went to Su, 7.2. And Piao, 49 passes completed per 90 minutes. Not terrible. Most goals by a player was Chang, scored a hat-trick, and it scored a hat-trick in the league. And most assists, broke a bunch of records. Clean sheets. Worst discipline went to Zhang with 12 yellows and 2 reds. Zhang Kaming. Did we? Oh, okay, they're taking into account the previous club as well. He didn't actually make an appearance for us. So that's going back to last season, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's going back to last season because the most goals is by a player who doesn't play, or hasn't played for us. I think he's retiring as well. Youngest player was Piao when he was 16, just shy of his 17th birthday. Highest transfer be paid, fastest goal, youngest goal scorer, oldest goal scorer. Basically, all new records. We've done everything. won the league. That is fantastic. The overall best 11 is in a very interesting. Wang Chao has made it into overall best 11. Fair enough. Season review, we've already looked at. Next season, they want us to play attacking, entertaining, counter-attacking football. Build a new stadium. They want us to fight bravely against relegation. So if we do stay on for the whole season, they're not going to expect us to do an awful lot, because I would imagine we're going to be quite favourites for relegation. The players will be back in January, so they have a nice long break for themselves. Good enough to not be involved in a relegation battle. No. Happy with promotion. It will be hard when I heard of it. Give it a chance to keep us up there. Congratulations on getting promoted. Fantastic achievement. Before you all go away on your well-deserved break, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to keep fit. No, I'm not going to. I don't know what the director of football is going to do. Good chance of avoiding relegation. Wholly satisfied with effort and promoted side here. I'll be looking to make for considerable improvements. Confident we can come back. Fully deserved, but I will have to strengthen. Ooh. You all know we're favourites for relegation. Okay. Maybe I'm being unrealistic. I've saved it. Enjoy breaks. We can discuss promises when you're back from pre-season. Fantastic. I fixed it. No worries. Everything is fine. Not many players actually care that much. Some body language was pretty bad, but that's fine. Okay. We're going to be favourites to get relegated for next season, because we're going up with like a tiny budget. We have no money in the bank. I'm guessing there's no money in. Oh no, there is 60k. But the top 16 get the same amount. Why do the top 16 get the same amount of money? If we finish outside the relegation zone, we could actually. It's not a terrible. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So we will be back in just a second, for you anyway, to find out what transfers we've done. It's going to be quite a while. We have a sizable length of time before anything's going to happen. So we will be back in just a second, where hopefully we'll have strengthened the squad and gotten rid of some of the dead wood. Hopefully. Here's hoping. We'll have to wait and see. Right, fellas. So I'm actually back much sooner than I expected. It is literally just after I hit continue. Our stadium does not meet the requirements of the Chinese Super League, which is slightly frustrating. But we have 3 years, which probably not going to be in the league for 3 years. I'm definitely not going to be here in 3 years. But we do have the ability to upgrade to 13,000 or 16,250. But never mind that, we are building a new stadium. Because the fact we have like 170,000 in the bank, whatever. Almost 7 million on a new stadium, which is going to be named after the club. We've secured a loan for 4.1 million to help finance it. But we are after securing stadium sponsorship deals worth 2.3 million and a 2.7 million grant from the authorities. So the build start date is today. They're literally starting the foundations today, and they expect to have it done by January 2027. Here's hoping. We're going to be renting the university stadium so we can play in the league. 35,000. There's literally nobody has ever played at this stadium. How big? 13,000. Yeah, so we're building a new stadium. With 103,000, not 170,000. Oops. At least we're going to be making the financial fair play. Because for a moment there, it did say we weren't going to, which I was slightly worried about. But yeah, next time you see us will be for the transfer roundup, unless something else insane happens. Hopefully nothing crazy happens. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. So, see you in a second. Right, fellas. So we have arrived at the opening day of the season. So that'll be tomorrow's episode against Chongqing. We'll also be taking on Shandong, who are significantly better teams than we are. As you can see, we've not played many good teams in the pre-season. We did play against Wuhan and drew 4-4, so that was quite nice. But if we have a look at the season preview, we're 2,000-1, which is originally we were 1,000-1, and since we've finished the transfer window, we're 2,000-1. So don't expect an awful lot from us this season. We're taking on potential 10th in the league, and then the team favourite to get second. So I'm not expecting any points from the opening 2 games. To be fair, I'm not expecting points from any game, really. I'm assuming we're going to be like the 2001 Youth China National, whatever they're called. Balance-wise, we are not looking good. We did have money at one point this... Yep, in like January time. We got sponsorship money. Yeah. If we go to our debts and loans, we have 5.2 million in net debt, which is fantastic. We're paying off a loan for our stadium, which I'm assuming we're not going to need because yeah, just don't think it's going to work out very well for us. We do have plenty of wage and transfer budget left over. Didn't have the busiest window in terms of signing players. We did release quite a number of players. I think it was like 15 players released. 17 players got released, 4 of which retired. Shushin was quite an important player that left, as did who was the other one? Wu Minfeng. Not really. Zhu Yi, one of our top goal scorers from one of our higher goal scorers from last season, didn't want to sign a new contract. He hasn't gotten himself a new club yet. I'm pretty sure he's going to end up retiring, which is a little disappointing. But if we go to, I suppose actually, probably a better idea to start here, because we did sign a few players on the first day of the window opening. Interesting transfers, to say the least. We did have 2 players leave as well, as you're well aware, but we spent money. So we bought Josh Collins, an Irishman, who is come in and without a doubt is our best centre-back. He came from Shelbourne, where he was not getting any first-team football. Played for Waterford, which, it's not the worst. He's from Leinster, so it must be a bit of a shock for him coming to China. Then we signed Bivish Gurung. These 2 players popped up as what's it called? They came up like there was a media report that we were linked with them, and I was like, who are these people? And then suddenly we were offering money for them. This guy's worth 500,000 to 1.2 million, so that's pretty decent. He arrived at the club English. Was born in England, born in London, and then a couple of days after he arrived, he declared for Nepal, so that's fine. Tranmere actually made money off him because they signed him for 1.8 million from from Walsall. This guy's had quite the career. Played in Norway and Sweden for a while now. In China, comes in as one of our best central midfielders. And Deo Antonio came from Favaro de Bahia in Mozambique. Has a bit of a goal scoring habit, it has to be said. He's not really done much in the way of goal scoring for Mozambique, but he has come in as our best striker. I think I showed you the released players from what was technically last season. Then this guy, Shun Tangyin, came in. He is our best goalkeeper. Ability wise, he is a Yi League standard player, so technically a 3rd division goalkeeper. He's going to be our first choice because Shaki, Zhu hasn't been great. I think he's capped at his potential playing for a Yi League standard, so he's not going to be getting first team football. But Sun is going to be our goalkeeper, and Zhao, don't really care about him. We've had a bunch of players also go out on loan. It's a lot of younger players, so I'm not overly bothered about those guys. This needs to go away. Go away. God damn it. Gurung. So for the first day of the season, we do have a little bit of an injury concern. Josh Collins can only play 45 minutes. He's only played one friendly. Yeah, because he came in, picked up a twisted ankle, which is not ideal. You know, when your best players comes in, picks up a knock straight away. Less than ideal. But we're going to be just playing the same tactic we ended last season with. Unfortunately, we do have some injury concerns. We do have a squad of up to 30, so we have some players in the team that weren't there last season. Wei Junji is I think he was the hottest prospect from our most recent youth intake. He is in the first team. And Gu Yi is a central midfielder who's coming in. 18 natural fitness. I see this guy's future as a box-to-box midfielder because he has good natural fitness. I'm going to get him to work on pretty much everything. Try and make him a good footballer. And Tang Mao, after being given a contract, decided, I'm actually going to retire. I was like, you bastard. Couldn't have retired last year, could you? So for the first day of the season, we are without Zhang Qi, who is suspended, and Zheng picked up an injury just recently, so he's going to be out for a little while. As I said, Zhu is out as well, so we're going to be starting with Sun making his debut. To be fair, not many debutants in the first team because we didn't sign too many players. Sun's going to be making his debut. Collins, Grung, and Antonio all starting. And there is only 2 players on the bench that'll be making their debuts if they get off the bench, that is, of course. Lee has been very good with his training so far. I'm really excited to see what he can do. But like I said, the first 2 games, like, there's no game I'm looking at here and thinking, you know what, we could actually win this game. Every game here, I'm like, well, this could be a case of we lose 34 games. It would not surprise me if we lost 34 games like China PR national youth team did last season. And they're actually expected to win the division this year because they have loaned 20 players in. So their entire squad is loaned. So it's interesting to see how they get on. And they have, some of the players are worth a lot of money. Actually, I hadn't looked at the team properly, but they have some players that are worth quite a significant amount of money. I saw one there. Yeah, their striker that isn't even starting has a potential value of 34 million from Shanghai. So, he played 16 and scored twice last season. I had a look at some of the players that we had on loan last year. None of them were actually transfer listed or loan listed. I think Chang Bon was, but our director of football decided against signing him. So we have nothing in the works. Transfer window is closed, and we are just probably going to be struggling. I really don't expect us to do an awful lot. Team cohesion is fine. Club atmosphere is very good. Managerial support is very good. The majority of players like me, and that's fine. So, like I said, next episode will be the opening 2 games of the league season, one of which is a home game. Ooh. So if you did enjoy this episode and you're looking forward to watching us get absolutely demolished all season, then do make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with all of your friends, and I'll see you